There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. Think about that for a second. A time for everything. That means the highs, the lows, and even the in-betweens all have their place. It's comforting, isn't it? It's like God's way of saying, I've got this. Let's make it practical. Imagine you've just started a new job. You're excited but also overwhelmed. Maybe you're learning new skills, meeting new people, and trying to find your groove. That's a season of learning and growth. Or maybe you're in a season of waiting for that big opportunity, that breakthrough, or even an answer to prayer. It can be hard, but remember, waiting has its purpose too. Sometimes the waiting seasons prepare us for what's next. Here's a question to ponder. What season are you in right now? Are you embracing it, or are you wishing it away? It's okay if your answer is, I don't know. Just take a moment to reflect. Life is a series of seasons, and trusting God's timing can bring so much peace. The chapter goes on to talk about how God has set eternity in the human heart. Isn't that beautiful? It means we're wired to think about the bigger picture. But here's the kicker. We don't get to see the whole plan. It's like putting together a puzzle without the box lid to guide you. Frustrating? Sure. But it also means we're invited to trust the one who sees the finished masterpiece. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine went through a tough breakup. At the time, it felt like the end of the world. But years later, they met someone who was a much better match. Looking back, they realized that the painful season was part of a bigger story. If you're in a season that doesn't make sense right now, hang in there. God's got the bigger picture. Another gem from Ecclesiastes 3 is about living with humility and integrity. It reminds us that we're just humans, not gods. That might sound obvious, but how often do we act like we're in control of everything? We hustle, plan, and stress, forgetting that some things are simply out of our hands. So here's the challenge. What's one thing you're trying to control that you need to let go of? Write it down. Pray about it. Trust God with it. Words have power. They can build someone up or tear them down. Ecclesiastes reminds us to use them wisely. Think about your relationships. Is there someone you need to apologize to? Or maybe someone who needs a kind word from you today? Don't put it off. Speak life into someone's day. The chapter also encourages us to be diligent. Whatever you're doing, whether it's your job, your studies, or even your hobbies, do it well. Give it your best shot. But here's the catch. Don't tie your worth to your work. You are more than your productivity. So, take pride in your efforts, but also give yourself grace when things don't go perfectly. Try a random act of kindness this week. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's leaving an encouraging note for a coworker or surprising your neighbor with some homemade cookies. Little things like that can brighten someone's day and remind them that they're loved.